So we butchered rabbits yesterday. You can go back and watch our video about how we did that. They've been sitting on this rack on pan in the fridge overnight, so you can go through rigor mortis on the bone. Get a little drier on the outside so they're not so slimy, easier to cut and easier to handle. Using just this oak slab as a cutting board so it's nice and big. Towel down so we're not making a mess. A few different bowls here. This is just little pieces of hair and junk I'm taking off to give to the dog. This is our bowl for grinding, our rear quarters, our rabbit wings, front legs, and these are our tenders. And then we have our bones left over for making stock. So I'll walk you through how we break these down. A lot of different ways to do it, but this is how we do it. So I'll start first with taking these legs off, nothing connecting them at the shoulder, so we just cut them right off. Next I'll work on these back legs. So you can leave the pelvis bone on there, or you can take it off. We're just going to leave it on here, run along the spine. And then you see the bone protruding here. We'll just go around that. Those come off. They can be cooked whole like that, or you can debone them for grinding. So again, along the spine, around that bone. Now we'll get the belly flaps. Don't want to cut into our back meat here, so we'll go where they meet along and then up these ribs. The belly meat typically just used for grinding, making breakfast sausage. The meat is partially frozen, so it makes it pretty easy to cut. So now we're going to separate the rib cage from the saddle. So I'm going to find the last rib I can find here and just run along to the backbone on both sides. If you don't get the exact last rib, not a big deal. So you can put your knife right down here on the backbone and just pull up, and it pulls you free. All right, so now those are separated. So you can take this apart and then cook just the saddle, just like you would one of the back quarters. For the kids, we like to cut them into tenders, and I'll show you how to do that. You're really just getting the back straps out and the tenderloin in the middle. So I'm gonna start along the spine here, and just kind of gotta work your knife along these bumpy bones, trying to get as much as you can while pulling apart with your fingers. Once you get past those, you hit the ribs down there, and then you can just turn your knife and work down on the ribs. All right, that's a pretty good piece of meat. We usually cut them in half to get 2 tenders out of them. It goes in our tender pot. Just repeating for this side, around those spine bones to the ribs and working down. There's another one, cut in half. So 4 tenders out of 1 rabbit so far. And then these tenderloins are very tender. We're just gonna work along these rib bones on the inside and work down to the middle, go back to the other side. All right, there's one more tender. And then this rib cage, there is still a lot of meat left on here, so I do like to kind of fillet these down. I mean, you could do your tenders a little bit further and get more off of there, but we like to grind up some stuff, so this works well for that. Here we're gonna start the spine, all the way up to the neck. Just slowly work your way down on the ribs, getting as much meat as you can. Now, a lot of people say that rabbit meat is really lean, and that's mostly for wild rabbits. These do have some fat on them. We will add some beef fat when we grind them, but there is some fat on there. We've actually had rabbits in the past that had so much fat that we were able to render it down for cooking oil. It's kind of depends on your breed and what you feed them and how long you let them grow out. part. It is a little tricky if you're trying to get it all in one piece, which is not really necessary because we're just gonna cut it up anyway. So, just gonna chop this up in smaller pieces, and there's one right now.